Katrina.
I'm Gina.
I'm Christina, and we're the Gorgeous Geeks. Back again. No, it's been a while. Life happens. We've been a bit busy.
Very busy.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
But we won't get into it because right now we want to talk about the Batman versus Superman movie, which everyone is talking about it.
And our review is probably going to be kind of interesting because it's kind of mixed reviews between the three of us.
Oh, well, you're the odd man out, okay?
I don't think Gina disliked it as much as you did.
I said I didn't hate it. I said it's a strong word.
Okay, well, for me, I enjoyed
Have no
it.
intention of seeing it again is probably more accurate.
I enjoyed it. I will see it again. And Christina, not so much. Gina, not so much as all.
You know what? I was expecting crap.
I wasn't expecting anything. You know, when I went to Man of Steel, I wasn't expecting anything. And I know a lot of people don't like Man of Steel. I really liked Man of Steel.
I did like
really
Man of
enjoyed
Steel.
it. And I know a lot of people hated Sucker Punch. I actually like Sucker Punch.
I like Sucker Punch.
I can totally understand why people wouldn't like Sucker Punch. But I liked Sucker Punch. But this is the Zack Snyder film I was not down with. And the reason being, Batman vs. Superman is so contrived by the purpose of the title that they wrote a plot, which wasn't a very good plot, to get to this point where Batman's going to fight Superman. And his motivation didn't make a lot of sense. I thought Ben Affleck did a fine job. He's the best Batfleck there will ever be.
Batfleck.
Batfleck. But that wasn't... I know you can take creative licenses and stuff, but to me that just wasn't Batman. What's Batman? Watch the Justice League epilogue episode in the future when they show Batman Beyond. But I think that is something that you'll understand.
My only thing about it is that I did enjoy this Batman story. I did enjoy this take on Batman.
Don't say you like the story.
But the thing, I understood what they did.
No, there was
what they were doing. That they were making their own new type of Batman. They're making their own new type of. They kind of like reinvented their own version of Superman. They reinvented their own version of Batman. Same thing with Lex Luthor. A lot of people didn't like Lex Luthor. I didn't like that Lex Luthor because I liked the Lex Luthor that's portrayed in the comic books and in the cartoons and even on Smallville. But I understood where they were going. I understood they're doing their own thing, and because of that, I did enjoy the moments that Batman was on screen. Like, there was a lot of things that he did that our Batman wouldn't do, but I had to keep in mind, okay, well, this isn't my Batman.
Okay,
but see, here's the thing about it though. When you're watching something and it's based off of a mythology that's been around for years. And this character.
Let's just call him Ong while we're at it. You know, let's just call him Ong. Let's just.
Let's
call Bruce's name wrong.
You have creative license. You have a character that has been defined, and it's the same character. The problem that I had with this movie, with this version of Batman, was because Batman is not irrational.
Yes, it's not. You may be thinking, oh, it's because of guns, because of killing. It's not even because of that. It's because he was so irrational.
Batman is not irrational.
I mean, he just was so gun ho against Superman. And you know, if he would have just did like 10 more minutes of investigating, he could have figured out and not had to have a conflict at all.
I completely agree with you on that.
And you know what?
I agree with you on that.
Batman's a lot of things, but he's not stupid. You know, and he can maybe be irrational sometimes, but he's not stupid.
Right.
I understand what you guys are saying, and I get it.
I agree with you.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying that the moment he was on screen,
since I read Civil War, and I was mad at Tony Stark.
I understand.
But you know what? Tony was still rational. He had a rational point.
I understand that.
Just agreed with him.
But I'm saying I did enjoy the moments he was on screen. He did a lot of really cool stuff.
He did some cool things, but there were some dream sequences and stuff that I guess could make sense to you if you know stuff about comic books.
Was the best.
Okay, but you know, the editing was bad. There were things that if you're going to change mythos, it needs to make sense for the story. Like changing Thor into like an alien, saying he's not really a god or whatever. Maybe he was a god to these Norse people, and that helped fit them into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It made sense, and how they were still, you know, technically
having Jane Foster
advanced. It all made sense with their
be an astrophysicist or whatever Jane Foster was.
It helped advance the plot.
It did. You know.
There were things that they changed. Everything that was written with Batman, it was very contrived, and it just made for a bad story. And I just felt bad for Superman, because the world is literally crapping on him constantly, and Batman is just, we're gonna kill him. Like, it's there's just. I just want Superman to get a break. Like, there's like only one like happy scene between him and Lois.
Okay, now let me ask. Now, what did y'all think of Gal Gadot's version of Wonder Woman?
I thought she did a great job.
I did too. I was expecting.
But there were certain things that I wish they would have like zoomed in or slow mode, because I feel like when she was able to do what Wonder Woman does,
yeah.
I feel like it was kind of rushed.
I thought the spirit of her was great when she was in battle.
Yeah.
I liked when she was just going around as Diana Prince, you know.
I like
the intrigue, her dresses, her style, her.
I like her costume.
Her dress.
I mean, but the only thing was with the final battle, when you actually got to see her in action. I didn't really like the choreography. Well, there wasn't really choreography, really.
Well, I think that
and I know she's an Israeli soldier, so I just wish instead of just
kind of
like smash, I would have liked to see, I guess, something cooler than that, you know, personally. I didn't like the style of, I guess, the big battle thing.
Right. I'm definitely looking forward, after watching this, I'm definitely looking forward to her movie.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes. If you're looking forward to all the Justice League stuff that they talked about and peaked and had everybody on the cover or whatever, I think when they do actually show them, it's kind of like a poor scene. It really should have been an after credits scene. It did not fit well into the movie, so don't even get too excited about it, because they didn't even pull it off.
Right. They could have did that, like you said, like at the end, like when all the credits have rolled up. Like, it just kind of it was kind of like, well, we said these guys was going to be in there, so we're just going to throw them in. I mean, that's just
it did not need to be 2.5 hours. And sometimes you can watch a movie and it's 2.5 hours and it doesn't feel like 2.5 hours.
No, that felt 2.5 hours.
It felt like 2.5 hours.
It did feel like 2.5 hours. Now, I do have to say, I did like.
You said somebody fell asleep in your.
Somebody fell. Well, I went to the 11:30 show, 11:30 at night. But somebody did fall asleep in the show.
I mean, I've heard a lot of people say, man, the beginning was really boring.
It was boring.
And I didn't think it was super boring, but
the beginning of it, the opening sequence.
Well, I guess they probably don't mean the opening sequence, but just
like as it was going.
Maybe like the hearing.
Well, it did have a lot of slow parts,
but you know,
but the Man of Steel had a lot of slow parts in it too, as well.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, I guess the problem with the beginning is a lot of stuff with the congressional hearings and stuff. That was a plot that I felt was rational, considering all the things that have happened with Superman, and even very modern to today's times.
Right.
However, that plot doesn't really end up going anywhere in the end. Like, it was a part of the bad guy's plan, but to me it didn't really tie in the end.
The problem,
I guess we are doing spoilers.
That wasn't too bad.
No, that wasn't. Okay. But like the thing that bothered me, and now getting back to characters, it's just like wasn't true to mythos. Lex Luthor.
Oh, that was.
Well, I understood.
You already said that.
But
you better bring a new point.
but what I'm saying is that, you know, I don't. But in the trailers, they already showed what
they did already show, and people were like, "Oh, this is more joy." I'm not surprised. I'm just angry.
Okay.
I never said I was surprised.
But like the point that you had made when we were talking about it on the phone was interesting. Like, you could see, like, he's like this young rich guy, you know, kind of like
tech, you know, Silicon Valley type of person.
I got that. I got what they were doing.
So they're kind of like,
he's not the charming, charismatic Lex.
I got that. I got that.
Like, he's like what, you know, I guess like Mark Zuckerberg would be if he was evil.
And they got the actor who played Mark Zuckerberg in Facebook, so I understood what they were going. I didn't say I liked it, I just said I understood it.
Right.
It was okay, it was the wrong thing to do.
I agree with that. I'm just saying, like, he was. See, the thing about Lex Luthor
why
is that
do you
Lex
take
Luthor
a character,
is ruthless, but
a
he's
character
brilliant.
with so many roots, and then just completely change things about them. It's not just his money, it's not just his it's a combination of things. This is a man who in like the episode of the Justice League convinced Brainiac to fuse with him because he said, you may have intelligence and you may be more intelligent than me, but you don't have the imagination. And I mean, this is someone who just it just was like insane to me, his ideas and just putting everything out on the line.
Lex Luthor always has a backup plan, and a backup plan for that plan.
You know, it would be nice for
side
Lex Luthor to kill Superman, but it would be better to be president of the United States. You know, there's always other ambitions for Lex Luthor.
Right.
And this kid was crazy.
Yeah. Lex Luthor's sole goal is not to kill Superman.
Yeah, he would get some political gain.
There
I do agree. They should have gone
some financial
a more traditional Lex Luthor from a comic book world. Because this would have been the perfect setup for him, like trying to go through that political route using this.
They wasted Mercy.
I was so upset about that.
And I guess I won't say how, but it's just wasted. And there was just.
Because I always thought she was just like a really cool character.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about the actors actually playing these characters. Now, we talked about, Lex. How do you feel like Henry Cavill did in coming back with the sequel as playing Superman?
I thought he still did fine and did a good job.
For what they
But
wrote,
I wish they would have wrote some, like, when I heard they're doing Batman Superman movie, I was kind of like, ugh, really? Because I wanted to see another Man of Steel. I liked Man of Steel. So it just kind of sucks that you don't get to see Superman and his, like, just kind of being
I did miss, like, when, Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne kind of interacted. I was hoping for kind of like, that, rich, kind of arrogant
something like
Wayne
the world's finest.
Yeah, like I didn't get that farmhouse Clark Kent, I guess is what I'm talking about, in this movie. Ben Affleck, to me, kind of, like, I heard a lot of people say that he did a really good job playing like Bruce Wayne. Some said that he was like the best Bruce Wayne. I disagree with that.
Michael Keaton.
I don't know. Christian Bale did a really good job playing a party boy, Bruce Wayne. I mean, when the first one, he had those two girls get out of the car. I thought that was genius. But that was very Bruce Wayne to me. But there were things that he did that was very Bruce Wayne to me. But a lot of it kind of felt like it was just Ben Affleck. Yeah, as well. But I just wanted that more wholesome, like, I guess, farmhouse.
And that's to no fault of Henry Cavill. That's
right.
They didn't give him an opportunity for you to read a Superman book about Happy Metropolis. And the first was an origin story. There was all this drama with Zod, and he was finding himself, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. But it's still so heavy. And really, it was so about Batman and his vendetta. It wasn't really too much. Everybody had a vendetta against Superman. And he was just there trying to just survive, literally, the entire movie.
Yeah. I thought.
I want to see a scene juggling elephants for charity. I want to see something like that.
But one thing I think they were successful in, and that was the development of the relationship between him and Lois Lane, because he really, in this movie, it's not surprising me watching like the first 5 minutes of it anyways, that, he's like clinging to Lois because like she really is his, the anchor for him to his humanity, and they do express that in this, I think. And I also like the fact that in this one you really saw Lois like be an investigative reporter.
I really like her as Lois Lane.
Like, she did a really good job. I think she was actually better in the sequel than she was in the first one.
But there are some things that she figured out, and it was like, why don't you just tell them right now what's going on? And, like, she would just see the people in passing. Like, she saw Superman in passing. It's like, why don't you just tell them right now what you figured out? It's like, bye. It's like, no. Like, what's with the communication? Don't you have cell phones?
Right. Cell phones. She could have whispered it under her breath. She could have whispered. That's what I thought. That's what I would do. Like, hey, Clark. Da 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 da. Mm-hmm. He would have heard it.
I wish there would have been a cool scene of like figuring out their identities or something. I guess on Batman's part anyway. Like I loved in The World's Finest when Superman peeked under his cowl, and so Batman put a tracer on him and found him in his apartment. Or in the show The Batman, he followed the flight patterns of like Metropolis, where they're like jet stream patterns or whatever, and he saw the most of them went to the Daily Planet, and the other ones went to his apartment. So he found out that way. That was a really smart way to find out who Superman was. So I just wish there was. I wish he was smarter.
I don't think there was a moment where he found out
No.
that he was like, oh, I know that Clark Kent is
No,
Superman.
there
There was
wasn't.
not a moment at all.
There wasn't.
Okay, so go see it, don't see it.
I keep telling people just go see it. I mean, because even though with all the different little plot holes and everything in the movie, there are still some really great action sequences, and you don't want your first time to see this movie to be in the TV room in your living room.
That's true.
Go see it on the big screen.
I mean, it does like the action.
That's if you don't want to pay $10, just go. On Star Theater has $5 Tuesdays.
I don't want to tell anyone not to see it. I guess I don't want to tell a comic book person not to see it. I mean, if you're on the fence or whatever, an older person like on the fence, like I can't imagine like an older audience being okay with like that Lex Luthor not being annoyed the entire film. And
I wanted to choke him.
I did too. I desperately wanted to tweet about how much I hated
knew what I
it.
was
Every time
walking
he
into,
was on the
so I was
screen,
just like, I let it go before I got to the theater.
I knew what I was walking into, but I didn't expect for it to irk me more than what it did.
Well, I knew M. Night Shyamalan trying to do a lot of things about Avatar: The Last Airbender, but that didn't mean I wasn't frying my hair off in rage the entire film.
I mean, the thing about it is that they're going to do the Justice League movie. And, are they going to stop and listen to the fans and do exactly what the fans want? Absolutely not. I don't believe so, because they would have casted Ben Affleck in the first place. Like,
I don't think they have to listen to us complain and whine, but they botched this.
I mean,
They botched, it was a bad story. And there's some things that they're leading up to and alluding to in very weird ways in the movie, mind you, that I don't think I like the direction that they're going. So we'll see.
No.
But hopefully they can salvage this. I think Wonder Woman.
I will say this.
But I think Suicide Squad's gonna be a lot better.
Yeah, Suicide Squad's gonna be like.
Oh, you can tell
I think Civil War's just gonna smack it up. Like seriously.
Well, everybody knew when this
And you
movie
know
was
what?
coming out, they
And
were
it's not
touching the Marvel
And
movies.
it's just not. It's just not. Well, some people are like, "Oh, you Marvel fanboys." This is not me being a fangirl or whatever. It's just the fact of the matter is, Winter Soldier was amazing. It's probably my favorite Marvel Universe movie. Period.
Well,
And
I love
Civil
the
War's
first
great.
the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. It was just. I wouldn't change anything about that.
Well, I think
So I would say
That's not in the Marvel universe though, cinematic universe.
Oh well. Okay.
Well, anyways, tell us what you think. Comment below, and you can follow us on Twitter and also on Facebook. I'm Katrina.
I'm Gina.
I'm Christina,
and we're the Gorgeous Geeks.
It's fine if you liked it, but it was a bad movie.